And verse 12 says, Verily, verily, I say unto you, he that believeth on me, the works that I shall do, he do also. And greater works than these shall he do, because I go unto my Father. And whatsoever ye shall ask in my name, that will I do. And the Father may be glorified in this ambassador. I'm moving on to another discussion when I went into that last verse. But basically, when Lazarus awoke from the dead, now when he left his physical body and came into the complete transformation of being into the spiritual being, he sat alongside Jesus. He became one with Jesus. He became one with the Prince of Peace, righteousness and justice. He became one with God. Became one with the Lord. So that's what it will be like when we come into our spiritual being. We become omniscient, all-knowing, omnipotent, all-powerful, omnipresent, all-present. So we become one with the Father. But though He leads us, and He is the one that will enable us to have the spiritual transformation. He is the one to see that we have the purifying of the spirit. As you know, Jesus has rebuked unclean spirits in the Gospel of Saint Mark, chapter 4. The man at the tomb in chapter 5. Jesus rebuked the unclean spirits, and they went into the swines, who then went into the sea. So he's saying that when we come into pure spirit, we become one with the Lord, and we are, I'm going to use the word, or we are as knowledgeable, okay, but the Father is the ultimate that we look up to and worship. Okay? So he says, then, but Lazarus was one of them that sat at the table with him, you see. Then took Mary, a pound of ointment of spikenard, very costly, and anointed the feet of Jesus, and wiped his feet with her hair. And the house was filled with the odor of the anointment. You see. So, I'd like to play some music if I can get it and take a break here. But somehow, these gadgets that I have can be so temperamental. Sometimes they work and other times they don't work. Yeah. Oh, it's gone off. So, my iPad, it seems to be flashing on and off these days. So, then Mary took a pound of anointment. So it sounds like the two witnesses here, the two anointed one. Okay. Then Mary took a pound of anointment of spikenard, very costly, and anointed the feet of Jesus, and wiped his feet with her hair. And the house was filled with the odor of the anointment. And you know what I'm hearing here, and this is a very old reading, in the days when the Lord had me doing quite a lot of writing. I'm hearing that the preparation of the earth has to come into an ascension process. That means it's coming higher in the things of God. Oh, hi, I have a lion. I have a friend in the chat room. It's been a long time, Lion, but thank you. Welcome to the show. This is Jocelyn Linton, coming into the higher calling. Yes. Yes, thank you. It's been a while, but hey, glad to see you. Glad to know you're there. So, yes, I'm just been talking about the messages that Jesus is bringing through. And I'm saying that the Lord is still in the business of sending forth messengers, so that we can know what is to take place. And because we are all in the sixth day. And when we read Genesis 1 and we talk about the 6 days, it talks about being made in the image of the Lord. So that means that we have the ability to prophesy, and we should be in that preparation mode. So, and that's what Jesus is depicting here, and that's his message. So he's in constant prophecy and constant deliverance of message. So it says here that then took Mary a pound of anointment of spikenard, and I've just read it. And I'm saying to you that the earth is in an ascension process, meaning that it's ascending, it's coming higher into the knowledge of God and being able to receive the kingdom of heaven. And that's how I perceive this. And you're welcome to have your own perception here and allow the voice of the Lord or the Spirit of God to come upon you and to give you your own interpretation. Because each of us are growing spiritually and developing our own divinity. So because I have said it this way, maybe the Lord is touching you in a different way. But my message here is that Jesus is talking about the body, our bodies, transforming into the spiritual body. But I'm also saying that the earth is right now undergoing a spiritual change. The whole earth is undergoing a change. And I said that she's undergoing an ascension process. And so that's why it talks about anointed the feet of Jesus. It's talking about the earth undergoing her change, and wiped his feet with her hair. So the hair is on the top and the feet is at the bottom, you see. So there's going to be that the earth is going to ascend so that the heavens, and so ascend means it's being prepared. The earth in itself is coming into higher energies. Yes, it's coming into the heavenly energies, so that it has to like climb up the stairs. So each tier, each strut of the step, or each step that the earth takes, it's coming closer to the earth, but it's also coming into higher levels of energy. If you remember what I said, that the heavens had higher energies, higher production, creativity, and greater possibilities. So take her hair, which is on her head, is saying about the development of the mind. This is me now talking. I'm saying talking about the development of the mind, and this is what I'm saying, coming higher, coming into the higher consciousness. And can I even include that it's talking about climate change here? It's talking about when the climate, as we go up the higher altitudes, naturally the climate shall change. There shall be a sifting and a shifting taking place, or a shifting and a sifting taking place. So okay, I shall read this in a moment. I'll just finish off with the sentence of what I'm saying here, and then line. And if you don't mind me reading what you've written there, I'd like to share it. So it's saying about the mind also have to come into a higher awareness, a higher consciousness, and this is my perception of her here on this occasion, on today's live and dynamic prophecy. That she took her hair and wiped his feet. The earth is ascending, and in our minds we have to come into them. We are to come in the alignment and be in the mind of God now. We don't have the human mind and the mind of sin. We now develop into the mind of God. That's what it's saying. So it's a total transformation that's going on. It's a complete switch from one to the other, you see. And the oil is represented as the anointing, the atonement. It makes me think about Leviticus, the book of Leviticus, when it talks about the peace offering and the atonement. And the atonement is connection of the Lord from his throne to his footstool on the earth, you see. So the house was filled with the odor of the anointment, and that's again, I know what that means. That means coming into the mind of God. Yes, we have a part of our brain that is specially developed for this. So it's coming into the mind of God. So Jesus is now giving the word of knowledge. He's teaching what this transformation will be like. So I'm just going to read what my chat room colleague has said here, line. He said, Jeremiah chapter 12:4, how long is the land to mourn, and the vegetation of the countryside to wither? For the wickedness of those who dwell in it, animals and birds have snatched away, because men have said, he will not see our latter ending. Let me see. How long is the land to mourn? Yes, that's when the Lord says, the Lord sends his people into captivity from the Babylonians to the Babylonians and the Chaldeans, and he says, okay, now my land can have its sabbatical rest. So how long is the land to mourn, and the vegetation of the countryside to wither? For the wickedness of those who dwell in it. Right? So they're doing evil acts. They've forsaken the fountains of living water, and now they're doing evil acts. They're acting upon not knowing the heavens, of being in darkness and ignorancy. So the Lord calls it wickedness. Those who dwell in it. And then he says, animal and birds have been snatched away. So the original intent of the Lord is no longer there. The Lord created the animals. He made the animals from the dust of the ground, and the birds from the sea, and they've all been snatched away. You see, so the whole thing has been turned away from the Lord's original intention, his original hand, because men have said, he will not see our latter ending. And this is the controversy here that I was reading about the Jews going to the Pharisees, and the high priest is now putting a prophecy on Jesus that he'll come to an end. You see, so it's the same thing, that man will become lovers of themselves. That's the prophecy. Men shall become lovers of themselves. They'll become very ego and prideful, and that's what's happening now. When I said about the end of book of Job, he talks about the ostrich that puts her head in the sand and ignores her eggs, and so her eggs are vulnerable to any attack. You see, so this is what I'm saying, that right now there are obvious changes, there are obvious calls going on the earth, but how many people are really paying attention to it? You see, is it that they see the changes but they don't know what these changes are, because as yet the messenger hasn't brought it, and even if the messenger did bring it to them, they still don't want to receive it because they're not knowing it naturally for themselves. So now they become highly ego, and they want to go beyond receiving the knowledge, and then prideful, they don't want to take the correction. You see, so men become lovers of themselves, and they don't want to surrender to what the elements of the earth are saying to them. You see, they want to be greater than the hands of the Lord. You see, so that's a speculation, and that's an understanding of where we are in the promises of the Lord, of him redeeming the earth and redeeming us back to him. You see, when we see that men become lovers of themselves, and we see divisions in the people, in siblings and in parents and in relatives and in all parts of the society, now we understand that we can have that better appreciation of the controversy and remain steadfast in the Lord, remain still in him, remain confident and trusting in him. That's another message that is resonating. I hope you are all able to stay. Now, I'd like to have some music here, but I haven't got my musical device working with me right now, and I was hoping to get some music from the iPad, but the iPad keeps on fading out on me for some reason. So I'm going to say welcome to the show. This is Joycelyn Linton coming into the higher calling, and I'm here to give a message to tell the people of the earth that the earth is now undergoing a change. The earth is ascending and preparing for 1,000 years of holy sabbatical rest. 1,000 years, which is the seventh day of the Lord. And we're coming into supreme bliss, can I tell you, folks? Yes, and the Lord talks about the residents he talks about the remnant and the residue, meaning we are coming into high